Now, if you were not with me on Tuesday on the Stampin' Scrap with Mary Knabe Facebook Live, you'll want to go back and take a look because we made a couple of fun gift card holders. Okay, so you'll want to take a look at that to get directions and a live demonstration on the gift card holders. And I also wanted to say that as I was going through that live demonstration on Tuesday, I realized, oh my gosh, I made the dimensions of my sample wrong. I cut it 3 inches wide instead of the 3.5 inches. And I thought, well, I can figure out something to do with that, right? Well, I did. How about this idea? A gift card in one, and then the skinny, which was a mistake. How about a little cash for the college student? Or for a niece or nephew's birthday, something like that, okay? So, like I said, if you have not, and I'm just going to say, I'm going to call this the cash holder now. So if you haven't seen Tuesday's Facebook Live on Stampin' Scrap with Mary Knabe, you'll want to go back and take a look to learn how to make some very easy gift card holders and or a cash holder, okay? So here's a sneak peek at a project for tonight. And you've heard me say many times that it's really just as easy to make 2 cards as one. If you're already making one and you're getting everything out, why not make 2? Okay. Cindy, I'm glad to see you back. Hi, Patty and Georgine and Katie. Be sure and comment. And ladies, if you would hit share, that would be awesome. Okay. So the purpose of tonight's live, or the focus of tonight's live, is to show you that you can do some punching or even big shot, and how to use the positive image or shape that was punched, as well as the negative space, okay? And with a little thought and a little planning, you can have a very nice negative space to use for a card, okay? So let's go ahead and get started on this, okay? These 2 cards feature the Perfectly Plaid bundle, which is the stamp set, and the Pine Tree Punch, which I love, okay? And of course, the awesome Wrapped in Plaid Designer Series Paper. Fabulous, fabulous paper, okay? So what I did was cut some Christmas trees from the plaid and used them on this card, but then I took the negative space and made a second card, okay? So that's what I'm going to show you tonight. And then at the end, I'm also going to show you something I did with the one of the boxes that we have, also using the same method, okay? So let me tell you what you need to get started. Of course, you're going to need your 2 envelopes. I'm just going to set those up there. And then you need 2 card bases. And if your card base is a dark color, you'll need a white or vanilla, a lighter color insert for writing on or stamping on. And these measure 5 1/4 by 4 inches. You'll need a piece of, let's do it this way, a 2.5 by 5.5 inch piece of the plaid or any DSP, okay? And you'll need I realized I don't have the right amount here, okay? 2 of the gold, which measures 2 3/4. No, okay, let's go back. Start again. Okay, 2 card bases, 2 inserts. You're going to need 2 pieces of plaid, okay, and I'm using 2 different ones here. so I might switch it out. Well, whatever. But anyways, no, I'm not going to use that. You need one piece of the DSP. It measures 2.5 by 5.5 inches. You will need one piece, I guess I did have it right, one piece of the gold, which measures 2.5 inches by 5.5. So these two are the same size, okay? And then you'll need a different color cardstock than your base, but two the same color that coordinate with your plaid. So I'm using Shaded Spruce here. And these are measuring 2 3/4 by 5.5, okay? So what you're going to do is start by cutting out 3 pine trees from this plaid, okay? Now, one thing I'm going to do, and I'm actually going to mark it on the back, I want to know what the center is. So 5.5, half of that is 2 3/4, okay? So I'm just going to make a line on the back side because it's not going to show, okay, at the 2 3/4 inch mark. And the reason for that is I want to know where to put my punch, okay? And I want that first pine tree, punched pine tree, to be centered, okay? Now I'm not going to get terribly technical. I'm just going to scoot this over, okay? And when I'm a little bit beyond the open edge of that last one, I'm going to punch again, okay? So started in the middle, going to move it to the left, and then I'm going to move it to the right. And again, if you want to measure this out, you can, but I really don't think it's necessary for you to do that. Just go a little bit beyond that first one. Okay. And that looks pretty good, doesn't it? Okay. So hold on to the punched pieces and hold on to that negative piece. It really doesn't matter which you do first. So just out of simplicity's sake, I'm going to actually put this one on first, okay? And it's going to border, excuse me, it's going to border, have a nice top and bottom border of shaded spruce against that plaid. Okay. And then I'm ready to put this on my card front. Okay. Now, of course, I'm doing the most basic for you. Hi, Sandy. Hi, Leslie. Okay, I'm doing the most basic layout for you right here. Okay. Now, we could stop and you got a great, cute card just like that. Super fun and easy. Okay. But you might want to dress it up a little bit with some embellishments. Okay, and I just pulled out a few embellishments to show you. I've got the shaded spruce with gold ribbon, and I got a little bow here too. Okay, I've got some gold metallic thread. I've got lots of rhinestones, basic rhinestones that you can use as is or color. The red rhinestones, holiday rhinestones, which have 5 different fun colors. Okay. And then I also pulled out these designer elements that I thought were kind of pretty. And they come in gold, silver, and a rose gold or copper look. Okay. So I think what I'm going to do here is use some of these gold ones as tree toppers. some of these gold designer elements as simple tree toppers. Okay. Now this tree on the right side, I stamped a little bit lower. So what I'm going to do is kind of arrange my embellishments so they look to be, and you could do it two ways. You could do it so they look like the middle one is taller and the others are a little shorter. Okay. Or you could put them all on the same level across to make them look even. But it really doesn't matter. Decorate it any way you want. Okay. I like these right on the tip of the tree. Okay. And then you might go ahead and add some other rhinestones and things. I think on this one, I'll use some of the red rhinestones. I never get tired of rhinestones. What about you? Never tire of them. I really don't tire of embellishments at all. And I used to be kind of a, oh, what do I want to say? Kind of frugal with my embellishments. You know, miserly almost. You know, I didn't want to, you know, use them up too quickly. But I'm thinking if I bought them, why not be using them, right? Okay. So I'm just going to go and randomly put some of these red rhinestones on each of the trees. I'm using 5, but you could go more or less. These are pretty small, so really you could easily put 7 on. Let's just go ahead and do that just because they're fun. Whoops. Move this one over. Stick that there. Sometimes I pull them up with my fingernail and rearrange them, especially like now when I decided I want to add some more. Just to space them out a little bit. Okay. But super easy, right? Using that negative space that we punched the trees from, okay? Now keep in mind, I did do a little planning of how I was going to be punching from that plaid. If you get too random, it's going to look all mishmash and not so terrific, okay? Now, oops, there's one that doesn't have a back. Okay, so now I kind of like it as is, but I do want to put some kind of sentiment on there before I go on to the next card. And I think I'm going to pull something from the Itty Bitty Christmas. Oh, let's see here. How about peace and happiness? And I'm going to stamp that with cherry cobbler ink. You could also use shaded spruce ink or even gold metallic ink. Oh, that would be pretty. Give that a minute to dry. I shouldn't say a minute, it doesn't take that long, but a few seconds for that to dry. I'm going to see if this fits in. Oh, it does, but I smeared it. My classic label punch. Okay, so I'm going to let that dry a little bit longer. Oh, Pam, I'm glad you like this. Georgine, I know rhinestones are awesome. Cindy, yes. The take your pick tool is fabulous. Yeah, a little bit of bling is always fun, isn't it, Beth? Okay, so that's that. Now this should be dry. The inks do take a little bit longer to dry on our white, Whisper White, and Very Vanilla. Seems like I still smeared it a little bit, but not as bad. Okay. No, it is bad. Okay, because I don't want to say I'm a perfectionist, but maybe I am. But I just believe in quality work. And if I'm sending something out, I'm going to stamp too. I want people to be impressed with my craftsmanship, okay? I am going to set that aside and let that dry, and we'll come back to that because I'm not happy about the ones I smeared. And I have a feeling the first time I actually got some ink on my punch. I'm just going to put some scrap paper in there and punch it just in case I had some ink from the first time when it smeared. Okay, so let's move on to the second card. Okay, I've got another cherry cobbler base, and I've got a nice whisper white insert for my card, 5 1/4 by 4 inches. Cindy and Pam, thank you. I'm glad you think it's a great card. Okay. And on the second card, I'm using that other 2 3/4 inch by 5 1/2 inch piece of shaded spruce cardstock. I'm using a 2 1/2 inch piece of 2 1/2 by 5 1/2 of the gold metallic foil, gold foil sheets. And then I'm using the trees that I punched, okay? Now the one, you remember, I made some markings on the back, so I wouldn't use that. But if you care to turn them over, you can do that as well. I think I'm going to use, or you could even do something like that. I'm going to go ahead and use the plaid on all of mine, okay? And I do want to pop those up with dimensionals, of course. Do any of you have the Perfectly Plaid bundle or the Wrapped in Plaid Designer Series Paper? And if so, what have you made with it? Okay, now, oops, I should do the middle one first. If I put the middle one on first, that helps me space the left and right pine trees. Okay, so again, I'm going to look at the middle being half of 5 1/2 inches. Whoops, is 2 3/4. So I'm just going to have the trunk of the tree at the 2 3/4 inch mark. Okay, and then the other one, I'm just going to eyeball it. Okay, spacing between here and the right side of the paper, and same thing over here, spacing on the left. Okay, now I'm ready to put this on. Whoops. Okay. And we go just like that. You can also do it, you could do something like this where it's more at the top, okay? Or you could put it right in the center, okay? I'm going to put this at the top this time, just to change it up. You know me. Oh, Sharon, the people at Stamp Camp are going to love the Wrapped in Plaid paper. I have no doubt. Okay, now let's punch Peace and Happiness. Oh yeah, ink is good and dry now. And I just went ahead and punched, or stamped 2 to punch, 1 for each card. And of course I want to use some dimensionals. The mini dimensionals work fabulously with the classic label punch. Oh, I'm so happy so many of you are watching. Okay. I was kind of thinking of doing something like this, but it feels a little too much for me. So I'm going to do this. Put it right there. Do any of you kind of design as you go along? Oh, Pam, you're going to have to make these. Yes. You just made my day by saying that. And I hope when you do, you'll share a picture to this group. Okay, and that one there. Now, I feel like I need some embellishing here. Let me think. Again, I have these. I don't know if I want those this time. Oh, the silver would even look pretty with that, I think. Let's see. I think what I'm going to do is do a red topper on one tree. Let's see if I have a bigger gold. I was going to do the largest size, but I didn't really look to see what I have. I've been using these for a lot of classes and samples, so I've got an assortment of things here. Okay, I'm going to use this big one, this green one over here. And I wanted a large gold one, and I don't have it, but that's okay. I'll just use the medium-sized gold, and that is perfectly fine. Okay. All right, so that's that. What do you think? How about some hearts or thumbs up if you like these? Do you see the stray rhinestone? You know what I do with these? Sometimes they come off without the adhesive backing. The backing is still stuck on the base. I throw that in with back into the bag with the other rhinestones, because I can use that one later just by putting a simple glue dot on it or using fine tip glue, something like that. Okay, so what do you think? Pretty awesome? Okay. What time is it? 7:25. Okay. So this is what I have. Let me show you a little something I did with one of our gold pizza boxes. Okay, Sharon is on my team, and we had a challenge this month, and people just had to create cards using anything from the holiday catalog, or I believe it was any catalog, and simply take a photograph and share them to our team page. Just want to get some more sharing going and some more interaction among team members, and we succeeded in doing that. But Sharon says when she was working on that challenge, she did a lot of creating as she was going along. Okay, yes, these make for great classes too. All right, so here is the same kind of concept, but I used it on circles, layering circles, and I put it on the gold mini pizza box. Okay, and I'm working on some special gifts, and so maybe this will be kind of the inspiration for decorating those gifts. Now what I did was cut DSP from a circle, cut a circle from DSP, and then a scallop circle from the Cherry Cobbler cardstock. I put them together. I just put 2 itty bitty pieces of tape between them, or snail, just barely, just enough to hold them together. And then while they were held together, I punched both, okay? The other thing you can do, which makes it easier to center, and I'll actually show you this. Let's pick a good color for a tree. What you can do, and no, it's not a good size. You want something that's sizable enough to show you well. Okay, how about this piece? Okay, so what I would do is, and this can, this is just for sample sake, okay, for demonstrating sake, but you can punch your DSP or your cardstock, or both, if you want to punch them both at the same time. Go ahead and layer them, put a teeny tiny bit of snail on so that you can pull them apart and then pop up the top layer with dimensionals, okay? But then you can use your layering circle framelits to cut out, okay? And this is then an easy way for you to make sure that that punched piece is centered, okay? I'd run this through the Big Shot, okay? And again, it works with doubling up your DSP and your cardstock, okay? All right, so there's that tip of the day, okay? Then once I punched out the trees from my 2 layers, I used the 2 negative pieces to decorate my box. I do have dimensionals between the layers, okay? Then I had these 2 trees left over, okay? So I wanted to do something with these. So I made some more backgrounds with the layering circle dies, okay? And you can see how these would be pretty decorating the box also, okay? So none of those punched pieces are going to get lost, or unused, I should say, okay? I just said okay. I had a couple people ask me if I realize how much I say okay during my live videos. But I guess it's because I feel like you're right here with me and I'm talking back and forth. Okay, are you getting it? All right. And here's another one I did. Okay. It's a little bit different than my first one because I left I only punched the top layer of DSP. I did not punch the cherry cobbler red cardstock. Okay. So there's some fun ideas for you. I am prepared to make another set of cards if you would like to stay on and see that. And when I do this, I thought I'll show you a very simple way to step them up with another layer. Okay, trying to watch. Okay, are you interested in seeing my next set of cards? I'll be using the Night of Navy and the Shaded Spruce, okay? And it's very similar to the first set of cards we made, okay? Yes, I'm hearing yeses, okay. So I have the 2 envelopes. I've got my 2 pieces of Night of Navy for card bases. I've got my insides of the card, 5 1/4 by 4. I've got 2.5 inch by 5.5 inch gold, 2.5, 5.5 inch plaid, 2 3/4 by 5.5 of cardstock. And then I have a couple other pieces. I don't know if how well you can see this on the video, but I use that subtle embossing folder to emboss a piece of Night of Navy that I can use on the card front. And I also have extra plaid from that original piece that I cut. Okay, So let's go ahead and do this. And I think I'll just start the same way, marking my center. Remember, half of 5.5 inches wide is 2 3/4 inches. I'm just going to make some lines there. Okay. And I suppose, let's see, 1, 2 3/4. So, and you can kind of mark the center of the next one if you want. And the center over here. Okay, if that helps you. Okay. Using my pine tree punch again, I'm just starting in the center based on those markings I made. And then I'm scooting over. Oh, and you can see it doesn't work to mark the center here. Okay, that would work if I was upside down or something, but it does not work to mark the center here because I really want to be centered between the outer edge of the punched tree with the right side of the DSP. Okay, sometimes we try things and they don't quite work out as planned. But I wanted to show you that so you could see why I was only marking for the center punch. Okay. Oh, looks pretty good. Okay, so now I have my 3 cut pieces. Why don't we start with those first? Okay. And I'm going to pop these up on dimensionals. I love this navy and shaded spruce plaid. The nice thing about this, you know, really any of the plaids, you can use them for all kinds of different cards. Masculine cards, get well cards, anything at all. Thinking of you. Okay. Birthdays. It's not just for Christmas. Okay. The opposite side of each of the papers has a Christmas or holiday motif. But the plaids you could use year round. So if you love it, better get it while you can. Okay, that looks pretty good. I think this one needs to go over just a bit. Or maybe it's this one. There. Okay, and I'll mount this here. Okay, get my card base, and I am going to dress this one up a little bit, and I'll show you how. I try to always put the inside of my card in while I'm assembling or before I'm finishing the card front. The reason is then I don't forget, okay? The other thing is I have a drawer, 2 drawers here, a couple drawers, that I keep white card bases and white 5 1/4 by 4 inch pieces for inserts. Okay, I have those pre-cut. I'll do a couple packages of the cardstock all at once. Makes just is one less thing I have to do on a regular basis when I'm sitting down to stamp. I do the same thing for Very Vanilla, And then under those drawers, I have a drawer that I keep all my envelopes in, ready to go. And they're really handy. You can't see it, but they're just to the left of me, okay? But that's something I like to do, cut a lot of card bases. Or if you have a particular color that you use often, crumb cake or cherry cobbler, whatever, old olive, go ahead and cut lots of them at once, okay? Just makes it kind of handy. Okay, now I did say that I have a couple extra pieces, okay? I want to use some of this extra plaid, and I just want it to go across the card front above this piece I already made. So I need to cut this down, and I think I'm going to go about, I'm going to cut it 1 1/4 inches, okay? Hi, Patty. I think most people love these plaids, don't you? Okay, and I need it to be 5 1/2 inches wide. Okay. By the way, this new trimmer will be available to customers beginning November 1st. Oh, I cut it 5 1/4 instead of 5 1/2. Well, phooey. Okay. I need my 5 1/2, so I'm going to go back. Okay. 1 1/4. I'm using the 1 1/4 inch marking on the right. Okay. And I need it to be 5 1/2. I said it correctly. I didn't do it correctly. Okay. So I think I want it to look kind of like that. Okay. What do you think? I think I'm going for it. Okay. Hi, Chrissy. Ladies, as far as sharing, thank you so much. That helps me to reach more people and earn new customers. Okay. And you can always share this post even after the video ends, okay? Even after the live is over and people can watch it on the replay. Actually, I know several people who watch it on the replay. Okay. Maybe the time isn't convenient for you, whatever, but all you have to do is go back to the group or the page, whichever it's on, whichever one of these it's on. Okay, and you can go to Visio and pull them up, or you can go to the posts for each day. Okay, there. Okay, so I have that now. I feel like I want to use this bow at some point, so I think maybe now is the time to do that. And I want to make it just a little bit smaller than it is, and I will trim the ends. And I just use a glue dot on the back of the knot of the bow. Like, should I put it there? I think I want it up here. Okay. If you need 2 glue dots, that may be the case. Use whatever you need. Okay. All right, that looks good. I still still might want to put a sentiment on, but for now I'm going to leave it as is. Okay, so now let's work with the negative space that we have after punching our pine trees. I have to tell, and I can't remember the two women, but when I say please share, it helps me reach new people. One of you watching a couple of weeks ago shared, and whoever she shared to, that person actually got on and watched as well and commented, and she actually won a prize. So that was kind of fun and exciting. So, you know, it does work. It does work. Okay. All right. So I've got this now. Okay. Now I've got a piece of cardstock, just 1/8 of an inch smaller than my card front. This is the one that I said I embossed with the subtle embossing folder. And quite honestly, when we started selling the subtle embossing folder, my first thought was, what the heck? It's so subtle. Will it even make a difference? Well, boy, was I wrong, because yes, it does. I love it. And I find that I'm using it way more than I ever thought I would. Okay. All right. Now I've got this. I've got some leftover plaid. Okay. One thing I want to do, I'm going to cut this a little, actually, I'll use this one because that's the one I cut incorrectly. Okay, there's two thoughts for using this on the inside. I can put just a wee bit of glue around the edge. In fact, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to use some of my multi-purpose glue, and I'm going to trying to decide, do I want that gold line across on the top or the bottom? Guess it doesn't really matter. But I'm going for the bottom. Okay, just a thin, very thin line of glue along the bottom and the left and right sides. And you can probably guess why I'm doing this. Okay. And this is that 1 1/4 inch width that I originally cut a little bit short here. So 1 1/4 by 5 1/4. Okay. And now I have a little pocket if I want to place a gift card in there. Okay. But I still have plenty of room for writing. Okay. So that's that. Even if you don't put a gift card in there, it just makes the inside of your card a little prettier, a little more interesting. Okay, so now I've got this to work with. Any thoughts? Any thoughts at all? Okay. I have to say I do like these gold designer elements there. Should I use those again? Any thoughts? Or I could use, what else do I have in my stash here? You know what? How about the navy blue rhinestone? And I'm just going to put one right at the top there. Top of each tree. I love that we have rhinestones in different sizes. Okay. So I can leave it like that. Maybe I need some small blue rhinestones on there as well. Okay. You could also embellish with our gold and silver metallic, I don't even know what they're called, gold and silver metallic dots. They're circles, embellishments. Okay, those would be pretty cool on here. Of course, you could leave your trees plain. You don't have to embellish if you're somebody that doesn't like a lot of bling. No worries. You do what feels good to you. Okay? It's your time to be creative and your time to do what you like. Okay, so I have that. I did also pull out some pieces of metallic gold. You're right, Patty. The rhinestones are perfect for Christmas tree lights. Okay. I'm thinking of just doing some thin gold stripes, or maybe a gold border. How about something like that? No, that covers up too much of the subtle embossing that I put on there. So I'm going to use this, and I'm going to cut these 5.5 inches so they are the same length as this piece. I think I should get these embellishments out of my way. And close up my glue and put the scissors away. Okay, so 5.5 inches, and then the other one will be 5.5 inches, and this is simply a scrap. Okay. Oh, you like the thin too. Okay. This was just simply a scrap. But, you know, when it comes to the foil sheets and the glimmer sheets, I like holding on to those thin strips and thinking of them as embellishments. Okay. All right, should I leave a little blue showing between the pieces? Or should I bump it right against them? Oh, I think right against them I like. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and put this big piece on first. And then those foil strips I'll be able to butt right up against the shaded spruce cardstock. Ooh, I think that gold just gives it kind of, what do I want to say, a richness to it, a fanciness to it, a sophisticated look to it. Okay. What are you thinking? Is this worth thumbs up and hearts? Okay, so that's that. Okay, I went with the same basic layout, the same basic steps or technique. Okay, and look what I did. Okay. Yes, I know I said okay. All right. Who's willing to try elegant? That is a good word. Okay, who's willing to give this a try? And keep in mind, you can do this with the pine tree punch, but we also have lots of other punches you might like doing it with. The butterfly punch would be neat. I have the cat punch. My little buddies, Ainsley, Ben, and Griffin, now have a dog named Lucy, so I might have to buy the dog punch as well. It would be awesome with the balloons, but it would be hard to punch only one, okay? This technique does not work with the builder punches, okay? It would not work with the apple punch, as you can see, because it punches out so many, or you'd have to have it be very, very small so that you would just punch that much, okay? So I think it would sort of lose its effectiveness. Alrighty. That is it for today. And I have to tell you, ladies, I am so filled with ideas. I got a couple more new stamp sets, or bundles, I should say. And, you know, I'm just dying. I just don't have enough time to do all I want to do. So I might try to sneak in a Facebook Live sometime this weekend. Okay? Be sure and comment. I am going to choose a lucky winner who will receive a card from tonight. I did want to let you know that, let's see, I think I will go ahead and schedule a 7 p.m. Facebook Live for Sunday, okay? Because I'm very eager to use my newest stamp set, Elfie, and I want to show you how to make this buckle card. Okay, so let's do this on Sunday at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. I'll show you how to make a buckle card, and I'll feature the new Elfie stamp set that I got. Okay. And this is, whose is this? This symbol here, this icon, it says 1 million. This means that one of our 1 million sales achiever demonstrators got to help in designing this. Okay, isn't that fun? Okay, so now comment the word, no, we better not do that. That'll confuse people. Let's have you comment, type in the comment, plaid. Okay? And if you type the word plaid right now in the comments, you will be entered into a drawing to win a card from tonight. Okay, you must type the word plaid to be entered into the drawing. Sometimes I do random drawings from all the comments, and sometimes I do it this way. And I see many of you are still on, and many people are commenting with the word plaid. Thank you for spending some of your Thursday evening with me. If you are used to watching on Thursday afternoons, I do apologize that I had to change the time due to an internet issue, but I thank you for your patience, and I'm glad you're here tonight. Have a great weekend, and I will be back Sunday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Have a good night, everyone.